meeting. Okay. So again, we are now in Toastmasters.org. And as I said, you should have received two different emails, one from Toastmasters International, that is this Toastmasters.org, and you'll need to log in. So I already have my login details there. And now I can access the resources that are available as a member. So from the main page, I will first suggest you go to education programs and go to, first we'll go to pathways. So this is the page we were looking at previously. So we have different pathways, 11 of them. And first of all, if you haven't chosen the one you prefer, I suggest you can take an assessment. So I'm going to show you the options that are available. You can do the assessment on your own to help you choose what is the one you would like to do. So these are the ones that are available: dynamic leadership, innovative planning, persuasive influence, visionary communication, and so on. So you can click on any of them and see more information in detail. And also I found this summary. I'm gonna share this now as well. That has again all the where it is, pathways. That has a summary of all the pathways available. And here you see the 5 core competencies that are public speaking, interpersonal communication, and so on. And you will see which of them are tackled in each of the paths. So then you will choose any of them. Typically, most members start on presentation mastery. So that's my pathway, for example. So once you decide the pathway, either by looking at the description of each of the pathways, or by taking the... Are you still looking on my screen? Yeah, do you see what I'm... Yes, okay, great.
Yeah, we can see, thank you.
Okay, then you will choose your pathway. And then I'll go again to education program. So we first saw these pathways, right? But then we will go to education programs and go to Basecamp. Basecamp is a platform that contains all the information for each pathway. So you'll click on access. Again, go to Basecamp. And here I see Manchester Communicators, that is the club I am a member. There are people that are member of more than one club, so they will see each of the clubs here. Typically, they choose a different pathway in a different club. I click on there. And I'm moved to another platform, that is the one where I will see presentation mastery. That is the pathway that I selected. I will go to Open Curriculum. And typically, each pathway contains 5 levels. Each level contains a different number of projects. I just finished my level 1, so I'll go back to level 1. And you see here my icebreaker, and then I have a tick on it, meaning that I completed each of these levels. Each of the projects. When I finish the project, all the projects, then I'll go and click on level 1 completion, and we deal in the committee, we deal with it to approve the completion of a level, and then you can also obtain a certificate. Then for level 2, So I just started understanding your communication style. That is the first project in level 2. And then I click on launch. And typically, what you will see the internet is a little bit slow now. Okay. So I'll just go to the start, where you have an explanation of what this project needs to be done. So you go through reading all the contents, introduction, your assignment. You read what you will need to do. For example, in this case, is delivered at 5 to 7 minutes, and then you see what is needed for that. And then this part is very important, that is assess your skills before. So you will go through a number of questions, and then you will need to click on how you feel. If you, for example, I understand different communication styles. 5 will be yes, I do, or 1, no, 3 more or less. So I click on 3 because I don't know really. And I'll go through all the questions. So then I click on next and select again what I feel about each of the questions I received until the end. And this part is very important. This indicates that you have started your project. Then you move on to the next section, and where you'll find the competencies, and then you find the resources in identifying your communication styles. And for this particular project, I found it very interesting that there is an assessment to identify my communication style. I already took the assessment, and this is my score. That's why it's already filled. And so this is the one that predominates for me. So I read what it means. So I continue through all the content. So I will just skip a little bit to show you what you see in the end. At the end, you have also this project checklist that are resources in PDF for easy access that tells you what you need to do to make sure you have done everything in your project, because a project is not only a speech, it's also planning, preparing your speech, rehearsing, delivering. Then once you get the feedback, reflecting on the feedback and apply that feedback on your next project. So you see here, this is the task. And first, as I mentioned before, I did this questionnaire. Schedule your speech. I will show you how to schedule your speech later. Then write your speech, rehearse. After you've completed all the components of the assignment, then you will need to assess your skills after. It's exactly the same test you did at the beginning, but now after you have gone through all the project, and then you will see how you've improved. Again, this part is important. This will show that you have completed a project. Coming back to Basecamp, as I mentioned before here, I haven't checked the values here because I haven't finished the project yet. So that's what will indicate that you finished the project. Another way to access the materials is if you go to complete your, it's not this, let me see. Here it is, in your evaluation. You can download these 2 PDFs. If you are not into clicking a lot for each piece of the content you need to read through your project, you will just download an individual project and you'll have exactly the same contents, but in a PDF. It's exactly the same that is in the platform, but you will just go through each of the contents. Now, for the assess your skills, you will still need to do it in the platform, not in the PDF, because that's how you show you have completed your project. Also, for this particular project, when I mentioned about discovering the communication style, I can do it by hand, and there is a way to add and find which communication style is the one that defines me in this case that I'm doing this project. So this is about pathways. I don't know if you have any questions so far. I know it's a lot of information. Yeah, Mickey, I know I told you before that perhaps for you will be good to have this PDF, but printed, and yeah, and you can have access to the materials, read them, and complete them in a printed copy, and then we will help you complete the assessments online somehow. If you excuse me just for a second, I'm gonna have a check on my baby. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so I was saying, do you have any questions about pathways, how to access? I know it's a lot of information, but at least the key takeaways from this part would be to select your pathway, discover the pathway that appeals to you, and then jumpstart on the first project, that is the icebreaker.
Okay, that was going to be my question, actually. Is there anything that precedes the first pathway? So if I think most of us here are about presentation skills, so I'm assuming we'll all choose presentation mastery, but it starts with the icebreaker, does it?
Yes, all pathways, all projects, yeah, level 1 start with the icebreaker. In general, the icebreaker is the speech you will use to introduce yourself to the club. You will tell us something interesting or something you would like to share about you, so the members of the club can know a little bit more about you. So the icebreaker is a 4 to 6 minute speech, and yeah, all the pathways have the same first project, that is the icebreaker.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Any other questions?
So I think. Sorry.
Okay. Anyway, I have this recorded, and then I'll upload it into YouTube and share the link if you want to have a look again on how I went from one part to other part. And if you have any questions or any difficulties, just get in touch and I'll find a way to help you. We can have like a quick Zoom and sharing screens, so you can we can both see what's the problem and help you go through your projects. So this is the first part. This is done in the Toastmasters International website. And one task was to schedule your speech. Now, to schedule your speech, we use another platform that is called EasySpeak. So to reach EasySpeak, we can do that again, going to the Manchester Communicators website, and we find here EasySpeak. So EasySpeak is the platform that me, together with Eric, manage as the Vice President of Education, and our responsibility is to schedule our speeches. So if you go to EasySpeak, it is the toastmastersclub.org, so it's different, the website. This is toastmasters.org. This is toastmasterclub.org, and this is EasySpeak. This is the name of this website. Again, you will go with your login details, and you will click here on next meeting.
Can I so I think I've got a link to the site, but as I say, I don't have any, I never received an email, so I don't have any login credentials. How do you get those credentials if you don't have them?
If for some reason you cannot access it or you don't have any credentials, so just let me or Eric know. So now that I know, I'll first get in touch with Eric to check if your account has been created. If not, we will create one. And if for some reason you lost access or you forget your password, you cannot refresh it automatically. We do that. So again, you will need to get in touch with us so we can reset your password. So I'll get a note on your case and check what happened with your account.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now this is our next meeting on the 21st of August. You see here on the left-hand side, it says my participation, and you have two different options that are important for you to get a role. First is sign up for meetings, where you can show your interest to be a timer or an accountant, grammarian, any role. Those are the first thing I recommend you to start, and then once you get a bit more experience attending the meetings, you can be a Toastmaster of the day, run the table topics, and later on be an evaluator as well. So that's for sign up for meetings. So you click on there, and you see here the next meetings, 21st, September the 4th, September the 18th, October, and these are all, not all the roles, almost all, except by the speakers, because the speaker is you can be a speaker by entering a different way. So these are all the remaining roles. So it's a general evaluator, the Toastmaster of the day, table topics master, and you will only need to click on yes. For example, I already signed up to be the Toastmaster of the day for the meeting on September the 4th. So I've already put on my name, and now I want to be the table topics master for the next meeting, so I'll just sign up now with you. So I'll click on here, yes. And yeah, I just signed up for a role, and that will let Danny, that will be the Toastmaster of the day, know that I'll be the table topics master for that session and help organize the meeting better. So typically the meetings are organized by the Toastmaster of the day with the Vice President of Education. So, and that's why we prefer to have all the roles in advance. So with the members signing up in EasySpeak, it's an easier way to just saying it in WhatsApp, because sometimes just with everything that goes into WhatsApp, we just miss some of the messages. So this is how you can enroll for any of the roles in the meeting, except to be a speaker. Again, you go to my participation, sign up for meetings, and then you reach this page where you see all the meetings, future meetings, and just sign up for a role. Then, now, if you want to be a speaker, you go to request a speech. Click on request a speech, and I have another window that opens, that it needs 3 parts to be completed. First, the speech title and a little bit of a description. So the Toastmaster of the day talks about it when it's introducing you in the meeting. Then the workbook, and that is the pathway. So in my case, mine is presentation mastery. So when you do it for the first time, you will need to select it from here for this drop-down menu. It is not automatically linked with the Toastmasters International website, so you will not need to do it manually. So you look for the pathway you selected. And then in my case, I have already here presentation mastery. Then indicate which one is the speech or the project you will do. So my next speech will be in level 2, effective body language. And I will click on here, and then I'll need to indicate what are the preferred dates. What is the first I would like to speak? If I don't feel like very prepared, maybe I'll schedule it for a month or maybe 2 months. Or if I'm ready now, I'll just schedule it for the next meeting. But for example, for the next meeting on the 21st, we already have 2 speeches scheduled. So there's usually we have 3 speakers, and we just have one slot left. If there are already 3 speakers, then you won't be able to choose any of your preference for this date. So as you see here, for the 21st, we have already 2 speeches. So 1 slot is free. For the 4th, 1 slot is free. For the 18th, 2 slots are free. And then for the future meetings, we still have the 3 slots available. And once you put your preferred dates, as you can, for example, I'm gonna demo it. I'll go back to this if I am. My title is, I can edit it later. So I will just, my first speech, I will call it my first speech. Here I will write the introduction. Okay, then when those 2 fields are...
Sorry, just to interrupt. At that point, you're putting some words in to allow the person introducing you to understand what to say by way of an introduction. Okay, thank you.
Yes, I'm just putting it to fill in the information, but of course, this can be updated. What I typically receive, because all the requests don't go directly into the agenda, I receive an email and then I schedule the speeches. I get in contact with the speaker and discuss if it's okay for this date or another date, or if it needs to be moved to some other date for some reason. So usually the Vice President of Education is in charge of scheduling the speeches. And usually what I get is a speech without a title. So all titles are to be confirmed. So I'm lost because all speakers request a speech without a title. So I recommend, if you don't have a title yet, put something in there and then you can edit. Of course, you can edit until like a few days before the meeting. So you put your title there, then you can edit it, change it. Same for the introduction. The idea of the introduction is just something very brief to help the Toastmaster of the day introduce you in the meeting.
What would be what would be a example introduction? Is it just like, this is Christina's first talk, or is it something about the kind of topic?
Something about your particular speech. That will be written by you, because if it is the icebreaker has a description already. So this is the first speech a new member presents, and the aim of this speech is this and that. So that's an icebreaker. But from you, if you, for example, decide to tell us about when you were in school, you will describe that. In this speech, Christina will share a story when she was at the school and something happened. And something like that. So there will be about your speech.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Yeah. So my next is in level 2, effective. No, actually it's understanding your communication style. That's the one I'm doing now. I don't think I miss it. So I click on here. Now I have this green tick there, meaning that I've completed the information that is indicating which project is the one that I'm doing now. So it would be understanding your communication style. And then I'll indicate the dates. For example, I will put that my first preference is for October the 2nd. My second preference is for October the 16th. And the last is for November the 20th. So if for some reason these 3 slots are filled, my second preference will be the 16th. So then my speech will be moved on to the 16th. As I said, this is not an automatic. As soon as you select a date, it means that it goes into the agenda. It comes first to me. And of course, I give preference to the ones that have requested first the speeches. So if this is not indicating that it is filled, it may be that I haven't scheduled the speeches yet, but that's why we keep in touch and agree when the speech will take place. Again, if for some reason is scheduled and you cannot make it, let us know so we can also, as soon as possible. I know life happens and for some reason you cannot in the day, it's fine, but let us know so we can reschedule some other speeches or just drop one for a meeting. Okay, so now that it is completed, I have all of this with these green ticks. I will click on save. And you see here, your BPE, well, it disappeared. Your BPE will receive this request for a speech that is me or Eric, and we will carry on and schedule the speech. So that's it. Again, my participation, request a speech, and then that's where you indicate the title, an introduction, and the date when you want to deliver your speech. So far, there any questions?
No, that all seems clear. Thank you.
Okay. Let me see. So again, we've covered today in Easy Speak 2 things. First, roles, how to sign up for to take a role in a meeting, and also how to request the speech. And for the Toastmasters International website, the first thing is pathways. Have a read on what each pathway means, then select yours. And once you have selected your pathway, goes to Basecamp, where you will see that each pathway has different levels and each level has different projects, and each project has at least 1 speech. There are some projects that have more than 1 speech. And yeah, you will need to just keep on following the information that you have to help you develop and build your speech and rehearse. You will find tips, you will find videos, links to videos with examples. For example, with body language, I found that there are a few videos that they recommend from Toastmasters, the championships and that kind of stuff. So you can see very nice speeches from Toastmasters all over the world with examples. So that's from my side. And I would like to know if you have any further questions. And as I said, I will stop the recording. Oh, actually, after the questions, if you have some.
No, again, that was really useful. Thank you. There's a lot more on both of those sites, it seems, but the areas that you've shown us will be enough to get us started, will they?
Exactly. That's why I chose the title for this training.
Yeah.
Jumpstart your journey. Because yeah, I know getting 2 different platforms can be a bit complicated, but just get to the basic things you need to know, and then you can explore a bit more, and then yeah, you can take advantage of the resources that are available. I even found that there is a podcast for those that like podcasts from Toastmasters International. So yeah, it's always nice to see different type of resources. There's a YouTube channel, so you can find many other resources out there. I'm just making note of, actually, I want to take a picture of today's meeting, so I'll have all your names and see who attended. And if you can just open your cameras for a sec to take a picture, if that's okay. Hey, Christina, Sarah.
What do? Press the camera button.
Yes.
I got the
There's-
sound down.
Oh, you've got the sound, yeah.
I got the sound a while, but then I lost your picture and I got it back. And then, but I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
will.
I've
you
got
will-
my camera button here. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it-
It's the camera button in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, Mickey. If it'll be crossed through if your videos are a red line through it. So if you click it, then in theory, if your camera's working, it should come on.